It's time for another Buck Junkies, guys. What's going on today?
What's happening?
Another day.
Another day, another turkey to be shot, right?
Hopefully.
If we ever get weather to shoot one.
Man,
Seems like every time we get the good weather, we got something going on here at work.
it's my fault. I didn't get to at least go try to get one Sunday. I stayed up way too night out there riding around on Saturday night. We had a big old time at camp.
He was out there Sunday for sure in front of the camera.
Man, blowed up. Did you see him on camera?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's strutting right in front of the camera.
Yeah, I figured you was having a good evening after the text I received.
What'd you receive?
We don't
That explains it.
Yeah, we don't need to say that on the podcast.
I looked up and we were sitting out there. Where was I sitting? At Mark Plot at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
drinking Fireball at Miller Lite.
Riding.
Right. I wasn't riding. I was pitch black.
I hope you wasn't walking.
There's no lights. Oh, yeah. I mean, I had the side by side, but heck, I didn't get on no major roads.
Good days.
It was a good time. It was a good time. We didn't see no animals. No, yeah, we did. I saw a bunch of stuff.
You
Deer
probably
were
did.
everywhere. Deer were everywhere.
Yeah, you probably did see a bunch of stuff.
Unicorn.
I didn't see no unicorn. I didn't see nothing crazy.
There's been a lot of conversations on that hill.
And a lot. That's the
best place to sit.
It is, man. At night it was cool. The women liked it. The stars was out.
Yeah.
It was clear.
Women.
Women liked it.
Not woman or wife, it was women.
Yeah, there's two women out there. Only one of them was with me.
It is. It's a great place to sit. I mean, it's wide open there. You can see I know you can see for 3/4 of a mile, if not
Easy.
a full mile.
Yeah, it's
right
up on
there
the
on
hill.
that hill.
I didn't realize. I mean, that hill's pretty tall there on that side.
Mm.
Pretty tall.
We got to change the name of that spot to
Yeah,
Look
Mark
at-
Plot to
parking spot or
Therapy.
booze hill or something.
call it the makeout spot. Nobody will hunt there.
Yeah. That's a good. That was all my weekend. We went down Saturday. Had to do 4-H shooting. Michael shoots in 4-H there, and we went to practice, and then went down to camp and put on the basketball tournaments on the TVs and cooked some steaks out on the grill and decided to do a little night riding.
Ain't nothing better.
Had
than
every intention to get up and go and turkey hunting, but I guess I could have stayed up.
Heck, it was almost there anyway.
That's what I'm saying. I guess I could have stayed up.
Y'all did a lot of inventory assessment.
Did a lot of inventory assessment, checking the food plots, making sure I wasn't eating too much at night. We didn't find any sheds or anything.
They
Had the
probably,
dog with me. She did. She loves running around out there at night.
That is a new challenge. Shed hunting at 2 a.m.
Yeah, it's different.
Shoot, we found one running 70 miles an hour down the interstate.
No lie. We was where was we at? Right? We're south
of Jackson.
And
Side of 55.
side of the highway, sloped hill had I guess ryegrass. You can see it
Lock
plain
'em
as day
Yeah.
laying on the side of the highway.
Did y'all lock them up?
I
I told Jamie, I said, you stop, I'll run back and grab it.
Jamie was ready to get home. I had enough.
Oh, this was coming back.
Coming back,
we was
yeah.
tired at
So
that
y'all
point.
went to Tylertown.
Never even
Good
heard of
barbecue,
Tyler.
right?
Yeah, never heard of Tylertown, but that is you're stepping back in time pretty much. It was
Really?
one small Mexican restaurant, a hamburger food truck that everybody says like the best burgers in town, and a Sonic. I think that's about restaurant wise. That's about all they
They
got.
said stay away from Pizza Inn.
Yeah, Pizza Inn was the Pizza Inn.
But
Man, I ain't been to Pizza Inn.
that's what I said. I said they had a DoorDash sign.
We used to have one in Hernando
Yeah.
years
Yeah.
ago.
they tore it down 20 years ago
Yeah.
or longer.
They said had a DoorDash sign. I said, heck, me and Jamie, we'll DoorDash Pizza Inn while we're cooking barbecue, you know. I said something, guys like, no.
Yeah, stay away from that.
Stay away from Pizza Inn.
Really?
He said, you can be doing something all night and it ain't gonna be cooking barbecue. You eat that Pizza Inn.
Hey, we found the Pizza Hut in Galax, Virginia.
Shoot, best Pizza Hut in this world.
That was like stepping back in time to that. It was old school Pizza Hut. You could still eat in. It was
The
the
buffet.
old little, cabin looking red building with the I don't know.
They had a buffet in it. God, it was so good.
Those pizzas were good.
I miss those days. those
Man,
days.
Pizza Inn, Pizza Hut after playing baseball. Though we always went there.
What was it over there by La Siesta? Don's Deli. He had pizza and
Yeah.
subs. Yeah, that was a dang good pizza joint. That has been something
I
years
was
ago.
a kid last time I remember that place, like small kid.
By La Siesta, really?
Yes, right there. Might have been the same building La Siesta's in,
yeah.
or the pizza side of La Siesta.
It was
rather.
right in there, right where
Yeah.
La Siesta.
Really?
Don's Deli.
That's before my time.
You come by there for school, and what he had left over for lunch, you get like half price.
But no, we was in Tylertown, done a little hog cooking, had a good time, watched it rain. Luckily, we missed the storm.
Yeah, we got lucky.
Shout out and prayers for all the people that down in
Rolling Fork,
Central
Yazoo
Park
City,
State.
and
The tornadoes come across there Friday evening, and
It's rough.
yeah, that's man. Last
It ain't
count, was
nothing.
up to like 23 people got killed, lost their lives, and people lost everything. So try to help out as much as we can on that. I know we got some barbecue friends down there.
barbecue release down there. That 8 Days of Hope, they're down there. I seen with North Central Power here in Bahia, they're down there working power. I don't know about the energy. I hadn't seen anything about that, but
Cajun Navy or whatever they're called up there too.
Yeah.
helping.
That's pretty cool.
That's good. I mean, it's people. That's a good thing. Man, people willing to outpour and help these people because I mean, you never know that stuff it's hit here before.
Yeah.
So
did y'all see it was I don't know if it's a grocery store or a little restaurant or whatever, but they all got in the walk-in cooler.
oh man.
And when they opened the door, the walk-in cooler get out and said you could see daylight. The only thing left was a slab and a walk-in cooler sitting there, and it was all inside the cooler.
Darn.
If it wasn't for that, they'd killed all of them.
You had to get somewhere.
Man,
No,
that was a bad one too. 'Cause it's at night.
yeah. No,
Come through. It was.
I don't know
got
what.
bad in Hernando. I mean, it was when the wind kicked up.
See, we did.
Trees was bent
That
over.
was what, probably an hour north of us, 45
Yeah.
minutes north of us.
We got the
and-
rain now. That's
Yeah.
that's probably one of the hardest rains I've seen in a long time. Like you,
But it was
couldn't
gone in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it become a flood for a minute, but
Y'all were in a camper, weren't you?
yeah,
Or-
where's my cook trailer?
man.
You want to talk about it? Can
Oh,
sprinkle in it, and it sounds like it's coming down.
I'd
You
been,
look
I'd been
outside.
in the truck watching. I'd rather be in that truck. At least I feel like I could drive off and then laying in that thin metal box.
Man, that thing's built like a tank. We're good. But no, we had a good time. Went down there, cooked a hog, ate a little bit of hog, come on back, rested up, getting ready to cook another one this weekend. So,
Mikey didn't hunt. He went to the horse races.
Yeah.
How was
We
that?
almost didn't make it to the horse races.
Oh, you went right. You
We
went
went
through that
right through
storm,
that
didn't you?
junk.
Yeah.
I didn't, Melissa's scared to death of storms, so when we were going through it, it kind of started raining hard, and I wasn't worried about it or nothing like that. But there was about a 3-mile stretch there that I got a little nervous. I've never had to pull over. I didn't this time, but I slowed down enough that
just before pulling over.
yeah, I was just before because you couldn't see to pull over.
Yeah.
You couldn't see you barely could see the white lines in the on the edge of the road. You couldn't see 100 feet in front of you. If that it was tossing that truck around. I was like, man, I'm just waiting on this thing to come over the highway right in front of me or behind me and take us off the road.
I know. I texted you. Did y'all make it through that storm? You said it was like the perfect storm.
That's what
We rode right over it.
I was going to. Yeah, I told Melissa. I said that's about like the perfect storm because we went through it and it broke open, and you could see daylight. And then we got off of that interstate and kind of headed back south. I think.
yeah, y'all
When
go
we
around the
headed back
south side.
south. There was no more daylight. It went black again. I was like, uh-oh, this ain't good.
We've been lucky living here in DeSoto County, and it goes back to where I was watching this storm Friday night as it comes through, and it never fails when the river blows across when the storm blows across from Arkansas, gets across that river and it hits that bluff. A lot of times it splits,
Yeah, it'll disperse.
and it'll go north and south of us, and it did that this time. I mean, we had a pretty clear shot through there. I wasn't as nervous for tornadoes this time. Not saying we don't ever get them, because we have,
Yeah.
but the Chickasaw Indians knew something when they built and settled
Built
on that
on the
bluff
bluff.
right in here, because it's always done that since way back in time. Storms come across there and they like to break. And,
Yep.
we're just in a lucky spot to where it could be a lot worse.
We've had some close calls.
But yeah, and there's been some bad ones come through. I mean, since I've lived here, y'all have too all your
Yeah.
lives, and we've went through some. But
That last bad one that hit Lewisburg on the tornado tracking map, like where it showed where it picked up, was the point of that was my back porch,
wow,
and that's when it pulled the shingles off Mikey's house.
Mm.
That was as eerie as I've ever been because Jamie come in the front door at about 2 a.m. and it made your ears pop when he opened the front door. You felt it sucking in the house. It's a bad feeling.
the night would scare me. Daytime, I feel like I could see it.
Yeah.
I can get away, but at night,
I don't know. I seen you in the daytime want to get away too now.
Oh, I want to get away. I mean,
So what's
I'm a fool. I ain't gonna stand out there and watch it.
that was a F4 that hit Rolling Fork. I don't know what wind speed or mile per hour that is.
I don't know. They don't go, but
Almost all of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's almost to the max, to the floor. But it tore up stuff for miles, and it was on the ground for
Away.
35, 40 minutes or something
Yeah.
like that. It was, and the way it traveled, I mean, it went from Rolling Fork up to Amory, Mississippi. And
Yeah, pretty much.
They found people's mail in Amory from Rolling Fork. That's how
Dang.
much stuff that picked up and carried.
I've never been to Rolling Fork. My dad and went down there 30 years ago on a deer hunt, but Yeah, they said pretty much ain't nothing left of that town.
I think it was just a little delta town.
Yeah.
It was just west of Yazoo City there. Not too far from the river, you know.
So Yazoo City's probably 45 minutes north, I guess, probably.
From
Rolling Fork.
it looked like on the map it was west of it, so
Yeah,
but
it
it
might be
kind of cut an
northwest.
angle because it went up through like Winona.
Yeah.
So it went from Rolling Fork kind of on a diagonal angle up to Winona, across 55, and then kept on going up towards Amory.
Bad.
It's a
Yeah,
bad
it is.
deal, but man, it's as bad as it sounds. It's cool to see this many people come together.
Yeah.
You know, you got to
Help
make the
out.
positive out of
That's
it.
right.
But
That's right.
pretty good community around us everywhere we're at.
So what did we talk about last week? We was thrown in the mix of turkey hunting.
Yeah.
Mikey got on board. He got him one. We talked about that Mr. Fox vest, the Mossy Oak vest. Did y'all get your hands on one?
No.
They had another pre-order come open where you could order you one, but I think it's still going to be like a year before you get it.
So that's Mark. I guess he sent all us the link to Toxie Hayes. Mossy Oak was talking about how that come about. And
Yeah.
It's not. He come across as being sincere, not like a sales gimmick deal. This is something they
Yeah.
blew up. They had no idea that a vest, I guess, is named after his dad that was going to do what it did. But
There was no sales gimmick to that. All you had to do was say he's going to make them, and they were already
Yeah.
sold.
Yeah.
I mean, they 1,944 of them? Is that what it was, or 43?
1944.
But like the regular normal price is what, like $400 on them,
450.
probably.
450.
And then, but they was selling them up to $2,000 and $3,000
Well, that was
signed or
no.
Numbered.
They didn't. They only sold them for 450.
Yeah.
at the
It's
number.
aftermarket. People put them on.
Okay.
I guess buy them and put them on eBay or something. But they did auction. They auctioned one off for charity, number 5 of the numbered vest, and it went for like $31,000.
Crazy.
But that benefited the National Wild Turkey
Yeah.
Federation.
I will attend the big conference next year for sure.
That'd be a good one to go to, man.
Good friend of mine, Jody, and his wife, they go every year, and
Is it always in the same spot? This
No.
year was in Nashville, wasn't
it was in Nashville. I think it's in Nashville next year.
Is
I
it?
think, but they I think it's there every year.
Might be.
But I'm not 100% sure on that. But anyways, they go every year wherever it's at, and he's like, man, he said I try to stage it to where we go there on Friday and we see about 75% of it, and he said we'll get up Saturday, get breakfast, and go knock out the rest, and then Saturday afternoon gives you time. Once you see it, you go back and see what you want to buy and go get. And
it? Yeah.
he said, but it's a lot. He said it's
So is it like a trade show and conference where they doing demos and stuff like
I
that?
think
You
so.
learn stuff when you go, and
they do it.
I know they have a big auction, things like that.
What was? I
silent
guess it was at Opryland this year. I guess that's where it's
Might have
all
been.
But
I'm
We're
not a diehard turkey hunter by no means, but man, I don't know if that's not taken over as far as Ducks Unlimited stuff. I mean, everybody
hunting's big.
know that they dead
Yeah.
serious about some turkey hunting.
Well, I mean, it's National Wild Turkey Federation has been around a long
Yeah.
time, like a really long time. You know, and it's just one of those organizations that, you know, people are familiar with and stuff like that. And they do a lot of charity stuff. And
We probably wouldn't have turkeys for them. Growing up, there wasn't any
Yeah.
turkeys around.
I mean, I was grown before. It's probably been 10, maybe 15 years ago, I guess, when they released turkeys or somebody released turkeys in our area. But you used DeSoto County, you didn't hardly. If you seen a turkey, it was like very, very rare.
I remember there being, hefty fines and there was regulations on them. Like you couldn't
Yeah.
kill them.
Yeah.
And it was like organizations like that and through government regulation and stuff that the populations come back. But they've got so many predators
yeah,
that, I mean, you don't even need hunters to kill them out because if the habitat's not right, then, the turkeys will be gone.
I think they were responsible for a lot of the, moving the turkeys around the state and things, or
Yeah.
not just the state, but the country and stuff like that. But, I've seen them where I'm pretty sure it's National Wild Turkey Federation, where they'll shoot those nets and capture those hens and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
A lot of them they may release there, but I've seen them where they take them, put them in these little cardboard boxes and ship them somewhere and put them where it's not
Try to
popular.
reintroduce them.
Reintroduce them into an area.
So what do you think the biggest thing that hurts the turkey population is?
Man,
right now?
I'd
Besides,
So-
predators is one thing,
probably- oh yeah,
but I think it's like forestry
Yeah.
habits.
I think
You've changed the landscape.
you don't have near the natural vegetation you do. Everybody, some guy comes in and buys 30 acres of property. He wants to get out there and groom it real good, make it look pretty for when his buddies come over, and you just wiped out all the turkey nests. They have nowhere to go.
They turned it all into pine plantation. A lot of the old forest is gone.
Right.
Your pasture land and stuff is all being sprayed and controlled in grasses, and they just want one kind of grass in there there's no cover for. The same thing happened to the quail.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of people are saying that the turkeys will go the way of the quail, which we don't have a quail population anymore.
No, it's gone.
You see one a year, maybe.
I hadn't heard one or seen one of those in at least 10 years.
So we know that the quail, they say the fire ants had something to do with, besides also land management practices.
Right.
That the fire ants do a number on turkey poults and eggs and nest as much as they do.
Can't be
say,
good.
Quail.
I mean, I would think that kind of the same theory applies there. If they're on the ground and they hatch out and that mucus and that blood is there and the ants get on them, I'm sure they could probably kill a turkey poult.
Same thing.
I mean,
They're a lot bigger bird too, though.
Yeah.
When you look dove hunting, you shoot a dove, and if you don't go get it off the field right then, the
It ain't
ants
but
are
a few
on
minutes.
it. Yeah, the ants are on it.
I know raccoons probably do more damage to nests than probably any other predator.
Yeah.
So
do.
They will wreak havoc on them.
They'll eat every egg in the night.
Yes, that's what I was talking to a buddy of mine. That's Brad. He turkey hunts a good bit, and that's what he was saying. And, I never really thought about it. Got talking that a coyote or bobcat's gonna kill a turkey.
Yep.
A coon, armadillo, I guess even a possum would too, or whatever.
Skunk.
Yeah, get in there and the eggs, they're gonna eat the nest. I mean, that's 16, 17 eggs, 15 eggs, whatever it is in the nest. That's gone. That's
So
Yeah.
Darren, we had Darren on as a guest from Hard Point. He's a big turkey hunter, and he had listened to the podcast, and he had told me that, we knew that raccoons did a number on them. He said one of their natural enemies is crows, and he found out he was going. He goes all over and hunt. Like he's got his Grand Slam twice, I think. So he goes to different parts of the country and hunts, and does not just eastern turkeys. He hunts all species of them in North America, and he had went with this group who had found some nesting sites, and I think they were up in South Dakota or somewhere like that. But they had put game cameras on them on the nest because they wanted to see what happened to a turkey nest. They know they had a no nest; they didn't want to mess with it, so they put some cameras out. And they said that crows came in and were picking out the eggs. He never knew that crows would predate on a turkey nest.
I didn't either.
And so they got, I don't know how many eggs was in there. He said it was like 24. I mean, turkeys have a lot of eggs in a nest, And so they got a bunch of them. But he said 3 raccoons come in later that night, same day. The crows was in there during the day. They didn't wipe out the nest, but 3 coons came in. And on the camera, you can see the hen trying to fight off the coons. When they run her off, they wiped out the nest.
Yeah.
And so they've seen that happen multiple times between crows and raccoons.
I wonder.
And I never would have thought, but I know turkeys hate crows.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at something now because you kind of piqued my interest when you talking about a crow.
Yeah.
Because that's something you don't think about.
No.
They're meat eaters.
Yeah, everybody thinks a crow is just a bird that's eating out their sunflower seeds.
The
but it
first bird on this list of basically main predators for turkey is an owl.
Well, owls get the poults.
Yeah.
That's another thing. So they get the poult. And see, I think that's like when you do a locator call, you blow a crow call and an owl call. Well, what that's doing, that's their natural enemy. And have you ever seen turkeys or crows circling around when turkeys out in the field?
Yeah.
Or been in the field with crows light on one
I've
end?
located turkeys like that before. Hear them, calling at them and stuff like that and flying around and go down there and it'll be a field full of turkeys.
And the crows are circling.
And they're circling.
They want to fight them. I've seen crows in the field where turkeys spotted them. Now, this was during deer season, and them turkeys, it was a bunch of hens. When they got single file, and they took off marching towards those crows on just an old wood pile of crows that just, how crows do. They'll sit around. And they went after them, and they were tussling. The turkeys would fly up and kick at them, and the crows would dive bomb them. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. But.
So when you look at nest predators, it's, we talk about the coons, but some of the things it says that I never even thought about would be the skunk. I never thought about skunk.
I knew skunks were.
Woodchucks. And I have no idea how that adds up.
So like groundhog or
I guess
they're different.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Woodchucks, rat snakes, bull snakes, any type of bird. It just says any type of bird.
Really?
So it could, I guess talking about a robin or
mockingbird or whatever. Yeah. Blackbirds.
And then
some birds raid other birds' nests and take the nest over. But
field rats.
I could see rats. Yeah.
I never would have thought about that either.
Man, that's a lot of predators to try.
Well, see, and so you think of how lucky a turkey is to make it to maturity.
That's why they're all scared to
About
death.
1 year old.
Everything's out to get them.
Every time, I mean, from the time they're laid as an egg till a poult, everything is trying to kill them. That's why it's so hard to keep a population up of them, and that's why cover habitat is so important when you talk turkeys. They've got to have those grassy areas and those places that they can hide. I mean, that's the big thing with them.
And that's probably why one of our, Mississippi turkeys are one of the hardest ones in the freaking country to hunt, by far.
Just the eastern as a species.
Eastern, yeah, Alabama, Mississippi, those areas like that. What you think like that predator list Mark just gave, we have every one of those.
In abundant.
Yeah. But that makes sense, though.
And so that goes back, we had negative comments and stuff on why we were trapping coons and all that. Man, if you can't do anything on your property, if you got one choice to do, trap those predators. Yeah. Try to get rid of those coons. And I mean,
if you
don't want to trap skunks, but hey.
Even if you don't want to trap them, reach out to somebody local.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of resources. We've talked about state resources. They will get you in contact with somebody, and it's not like you're trying to control the land. You're trying to manage it, because if you have property just like we do, there is no doubt it's going to be an abundance of predators, period.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everybody sees that as what we're doing as a negative side, but they don't look at the fact that if somebody didn't come in and kill them coons out or trap them out and move them, overpopulated, we're looking for at the end. You're looking at disease, so the coon's going to be suffering from lack of food, from some type of disease, some type of sickness they get because they're just overpopulated.
Yep.
And then you wipe out the whole turkey population.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's when food goes short. They've wiped out all their, easy predators, the nest and things like that. There ain't no turkey eggs to eat, so now they start going to something else, and they'll just eventually wipe out their food source and start dying off.
But one step at a time.
That's right.
Looks like we're gonna be hunting crows.
yeah, be next thing.
They say they
can hunt those. We can hunt those with a what do you call it?
Radio call and black garbage sacks.
Yep.
What was it?
Was it a garbage sack like a decoy tool?
Yeah.
Like cut them up or something?
We done it. Was it me and you and Charles, or me and Thomas and Charles that done it at the house?
I never crow hunted.
That was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
You don't give it one shot, though.
Yeah, you shoot at them one time, they ain't coming back.
They're
That's
pretty
what
dang
David
smart.
Sluter told me. My doctor, I was talking to him, and he was wanting to come down and do that with us. He's got a radio call that he'll call them with, and
for coyotes and crows.
He's got a crow, and he said, if we don't see no coyotes or don't, unsuccessful killing a coyote, he said, I'll put the crow call out. He said, it'll happen fast. He said, you got about 30 seconds.
What, do you just brush in somewhere? And
we backed up in Dove Stove. I mean, it was
it's like
set,
yeah. Gotta be camoed out.
But he said, we can shoot at them. He said, you'll, kill as many as you can and then move half a mile or so, turn it back on again, and just keep doing that around on several properties and get them thinned out.
We done it literally in Daddy's backyard and killed like 5, just like that. Boom.
You had the crows following you last year when we were planting.
While I was planting corn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Planting corn, they were following the tractor. And I would look down and see the shadows on the ground, and they were just kind of hanging around the tractor, and I'd make a pass and go down the other end of the field, and they drop in the field.
Yep, eat what seed they could.
Now, they're a smart bird.
Yeah.
Crows are. They're one of the smartest birds.
Yep. We'll get some of them.
Dang, we keep on. We ain't gonna have no time to work.
Well, Jamie, this was your week for topics. So what are we talking about today? Is our main focus?
So I guess y'all kind of covered turkey hunt from last week. So topics I come up with this week would be what's a product we've used or we know about that's improved over the years, or something that's kind of like a necessity that we think we got to have,
and not necessarily pertaining to deer. Anything.
No, it was just for property and period.
Man, I'm gonna say trail cams.
That's what I had as number one listed thing, just because you look at like 10 years ago, they was expensive. You had to walk to it, get the card out, change the batteries out. You was steady in and out once a week.
That rolled through batteries.
Yeah, and heck, I can remember the first one I had. You had to go get the picture developed, if you wanted to.
That's what I was
you had film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Film.
That was before my time.
Matter of fact, I think I still got one.
My first ones had cards, but I had the Moultries that took the big double D D cell batteries.
Yeah.
And them jokers would eat batteries.
Wasn't there one that you just had the module and you had to put your camera in it and like strap it in? It was like a regular old,
like housing or something.
Yeah.
The ones that I had, they were like Jamie's talking about. You put some Kodak
35 millimeter film or something.
Put 35 millimeter film in it, filled it full of batteries, shut it up. Some like one instance, I was hunting on, I was running cameras on government woods, and I had to walk in about 1.5 miles to get to it. And I went back there on this big field and checked it. I opened it up. Camera was full, films out. Pull the film out, change the film out.
You excited too?
Oh yeah, ran to the nearest Walmart or Kroger or whoever was, developing
had a
film
photo
back
department.
then. Yeah, they used to have photo places.
And I don't even know, Walgreens would probably be the only place you could get it done now, right?
You used to have to go in there and put it in a little box and wait an
They used
hour.
to have them little 1 hour photo booths.
Yeah.
I remember.
That's what I used to do. Drop it in there, and it would
Yeah.
got a whole pack of pictures back. 50 photos of game wardens. They were out there bush hogging and cleaning up the field. And every time the
that's
tractor
wearing it out,
passed,
huh?
they would go off. It was just full of
You
game
thought you was
wardens.
back in there, didn't you?
Yeah, I was like, man, I got a hot spot.
I had one with they took the little SIM card or whatever, and that's how it was. It was like 1,000 photos. I'm like, man, this is unreal. I'm on him. Man, it was almost all of them was a tree limb out there. The wind was blowing in front of it, making it trigger.
So what's some of the advantages y'all think of running? Why do you want to run game cameras on your property or multiple game cameras?
Multiple game cameras.
Well, one, we know what's on our property. If anything from a turkey to deer, coyotes, whatever, we pretty much, you don't have every square inch covered, but your main areas you do.
One of my favorite things to do with our cameras is when we set them up, I like to see if that, if you can tell, if that buck went from this food plot, did he check this food plot? Did he, kind of get a pattern on him? Like, is he, because a lot of times we'll see like a buck will come up, hit one food plot, he'll never go on the rest of the property.
Yeah.
Well, that's like Ricky. We only seen him at night in a certain area for the whole year. He never moved from that spot.
He was at Pond Stand one time. Every other time he was at Trump.
Yep. And that's what, a couple hundred yards. He never got outside that range.
It must have been his bad leg.
Yeah.
He can't limp that far.
He does a circle.
I like them because not only you get to see what's on there, but it keeps you off the property.
It does.
You don't stink it up. You don't get your scent out there constantly going out, replacing batteries, changing the cards out, because these cards now that these cameras take, you talk about a 32 gig or a 64 gig card,
Hold thousands of
pictures. They'll run a year on that card. Now it sucks going through them.
Yeah.
But really on deer season, the only time unless we move a camera, we're not, or something crazy happens and it loses signal or something like that, we're not messing with it.
Yeah, you're not messing with it. Now I like moving them from food source to food source. So in the summertime, we know we can see what our summer plots are doing, or as these like our persimmon trees start coming on, or our muscadines, and we know the deer are feeding on different things throughout the year. We'll move those cameras around and kind of get these deer pattern. It lets you know what you have to hunt. If you're seeing, if you need to take some does off, you're going to see it on your cameras, or you're seeing all these different does, or you're seeing your bucks, how many bucks you have. Kind of gives you a target list of what you need to do. But as far as I think it, we use them as an important tool.
We do.
It's important as our gun, scouting,
It's the best way to get a, assessment of your property, of your population. Like you said, are your deer healthy? Because those deer walk in front of that camera. Like 2 years ago, we had ribby deer out there. They looked like they were just starving to death. Mm-hmm. This year we kind of, monitor the health of the deer and able to see them. We may not run them all the way through the summer. We'll take them out, sometime during the summer when we're doing fields and things like that, but we'll put them right back out after, a short period of time. But we're just, maintaining the health of the deer. That helps you, those cameras help you do that. Population, predator population, things, it's a lot of different things we're looking at, not just hunting by the camera.
Trespassers.
Yeah.
You catch trespassers on your land by getting pictures of them. And now they've got these cellular cameras so affordable that, that the plan, some of them come with plans where you get 100 free pictures without having to spend any money. You just buy the camera. You can run them off these lithium batteries, which last you pay a little more for the battery, but those batteries last all hunting season.
And see, that's something we learned too, because that first year we was running those battery packs that go in the box on the ground.
Right.
And you couldn't keep ants off of them.
Yeah,
because they would get in that box and they'd ruin the battery.
They even have some solar stuff to recharge them now to run them off that. So I hadn't gone that far yet. But
so on the cameras we got, you take care of it. So I don't have no idea. But like on a camera to sell, you're going to have a subscription.
No,
some of them you do, some of them you don't.
But you still got to buy the.
No,
you don't have to buy
right now. The ones at Walmart by Moultrie, they're what are they called?
Wild Game Innovations.
Yeah, Hunt Smart cameras. They're like $79 at Walmart.
That's the app they run off of, the Hunt Smart.
The Hunt Smart app. Yeah. Once you get it, there's no fee after that.
Okay,
but you're only allowed 100 cameras or 100 pictures a month. I think is what it, or a cycle.
Yeah, it tells you on there like you're getting close to your limit.
And you can buy like a gold grade package or
That's what I
you
was
can
getting at,
upgrade,
yeah.
but you don't necessarily have to have a subscription plan if you don't want it.
So if you're at a place where it's a high traffic area, you know, you're going to burn through 100 pictures.
When the geese get on the duck field, you're going to burn through 100 pictures.
Yeah. I mean,
And if you're
you
running
try to
deer
put 'em-
cameras, you don't want to put corn in front of them either.
No.
You got that limit.
it'll blow through 'em.
Yeah.
You'll get raccoons that'll blow your plans out. So what we do, we put them in areas where we know high, traffic areas, so we can establish where our trails are, how the deer are using the food plots and stuff, instead of just putting them out to where you see deers and plots, because they're gonna snap up all your photos too. So
Well, the one thing I learned about it, I'm 40 years old before I even knew that. Until we really started running cameras, they never registered in my head. My dad probably killed more deer than anybody that ever even think about killing. He always thought, well, that's a deer trail. Heck, I always thought, and I never thought, well, where's a coon trail? Where's a rabbit trail? And we found out these cameras that's just like a road we use. I mean,
it's game trail.
Yes, everything in the woods use the same trail.
They will.
and that's another good thing when we find those trails, or we find when deer start making scrapes and rubs and stuff, we'll move those cameras to those, and the deers get comfortable. Usually, now the old cameras, when they had the big flash on them and all that,
Bright red light.
it would spook the deer. You could tell by the picture it took. Those deer were startled. Now they don't even notice the camera.
Oh, we have pictures. Some deer come up there and you can see their
Big on
nose where they're
camera.
smelling.
Yeah,
They're checking it out, but they're not spooked of it.
They're not making. It's not making noise when it clicks or does anything. It takes these infrared pictures, and the picture quality is usually pretty good on them. But one thing, so we used to always take our cameras up right after deer season. And last year we got to shed hunting. We didn't have cameras out. We just went shed hunting, found a ton of sheds. Well, this year we thought we were going to do it at the same time, but we left our cameras out. So we started seeing sheds, or not seeing any sheds in the field. And if we hadn't had those cameras running,
We've
we
been
wouldn't have
wasting
known
time.
that
Yeah.
our bucks still are toting
Yeah,
antlers.
we would have never known.
Now it's been a week and we've seen no antlers.
No antlers.
So they have all dropped now.
I seen there was one on Wayland stand. I can't tell if it's a button head. Did you see that one?
They got something growing.
Big
up.
knots.
Yeah,
I
I've
was
seen
like,
'em.
and it don't look like where it dropped the antler, but it's got two big knots on there.
Where they're starting to come back.
Come back.
Maybe.
So that might have been a little
Button head
spike
last
button
year.
head that just barely penetrated, and those have to fall off. But I read an article the other day that it's within 24 hours where their horns fall off, they scab over loosely, and the new cells are already starting to push
Regrowth.
the regrowth out. They put on that. It's not like a 2-month period. They start immediately once they drop them.
And
Put
genetics
back
and
on it.
food both got a lot to do with that.
And
I'm
that's
sure.
that is the big time. Like now, they need the food
Yeah.
because that's what's going to put them on. They need the protein, and it just so happens it's springtime. Everything's greening up. There's a lot for them to eat. Clover is jamming now.
Yeah.
They love that. So
How long do you think it'll last? Cameras, because they're already banning them in states. It's already outlawed for hunting in states. Cellular cameras are banned in, what is it? I looked it up. It's Montana, Utah, Kansas, New Hampshire, Alaska, and I think Colorado's wanting to push it now.
what is there? Because they think you got too much of an advantage.
Yeah.
It's considered electronic, I guess. And then any trail camera, I've got it pulled up. Any trail camera right now is banned in Nevada, Arizona, and don't say, but I
They're
want
in the hunting season though, right?
no period.
I don't
Here?
think you use it all.
Oh well, I ain't
Wow.
never gonna quit using them. I mean, you're using them to monitor your stuff like we are.
I mean, I understand.
I can see not using them if you didn't want to use them. They didn't want to use them in the hunting season.
Yeah.
So Alaska is the use of wireless is or those states, Montana, Utah, Kansas, New Hampshire, and Alaska are prohibited during hunting season, cellular cameras. So I
You
guess you can
say
use
you-
a cellular camera as long as there's not an active hunting season going on.
What if I just put surveillance cameras up on my personal property?
I could see
They
maybe
make some of those now.
government
Those.
land or something like that. But if I own 100 acres of Montana, it's my business.
And maybe
wanna know
that's
what's
what it
on it.
does. Some of those that Mark called out have a vast amount of
government land.
government property. When I'm talking about government property,
Yeah.
we're talking about hundreds of square miles of
On
property
most of the state.
on the state.
So one of the things it said that most of the western states, because of what you said, all the government land, that it caused so many disputes of people stealing cameras,
Yeah.
they banned them.
I
Oh,
can see that.
I can see that. You got all these police reports being filed on
Over
theft.
$100 camera and
So does it say it's prohibited on government land, or is it private land that's also prohibited?
I would think they would write a rule in like if you had private land, it's yours.
Yeah.
You should.
So you can't run feeders on government land, right?
No.
That's a rule. Like, I know Mississippi. Like
even when it was legal to feed, I don't think you could run feeders on government property.
This is exactly why they're banned. Probably. I'm scrolling through reasons, and I get down to one. It says, "How do I block my neighbor's trail camera?"
Yeah.
Causing all kinds of disputes. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, do you think it's an advantage then of using trail cameras? Does it give you a hunting advantage?
Yes,
it can.
I don't think it does.
I can tell you
because that deer still got a mind of its own. Yeah, you see him there. Sometimes you can get them pinpointed, but
I don't know if I've killed a deer because of the camera.
I have.
Really?
Me and Daddy was at your place that one year, and you called me and it's like, "Hey, did you see that a big deer just come up on the south trunk?"
Asleep.
I was hunting ponds
Hold
then.
on. Yeah, go ahead, James.
And that camera went off, and I hadn't seen nothing. And I got down, walked around the edge of the pond, crossed over and looking in the sage grass below the pine thicket. And sure enough, here come a buck doe. Now, granted, the buck I killed wasn't the one that was on camera, but it was, and it might have been a coincidence. But that camera been going off all morning with the buck chasing the doe.
I could see that then. It wasn't the one. It wasn't the one we saw, but there was a hot doe in the area.
That's right. Yep.
I don't know. I mean, it is an advantage, I guess. I would say it's somewhat of an advantage.
Would you go sit in the
not as much as baiting
plantation field if there wasn't no buck showing up on the camera?
Yes.
Yep, because that camera's only looking at about 5 yards.
Well, that's my thing. I mean,
but I know there's been instances where we've seen a certain buck on the camera, and
we're like, that's where we're going.
Ran to the field to
go hunt. Yeah, I've never killed one. Saw it on camera, run out there and killed him. Yeah. Never. But
it helps you with your planning.
It does. It does that. It makes me want to hunt. So I think it's double-edged sword. If you ain't seeing anything, you might say, "Well, I ain't nothing out there." If you wake up in the morning, you done set your alarm for 4:30, whatever. You get up, check your cameras, ain't nothing been on them. Man, I'm going back to bed. They ain't moving. But then you wake up and you see all these deers on camera.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going. They're moving now. I mean, there's been instances where I've done both things. You know.
Yeah.
So it's a bad habit to go to checking those cameras, depending on them. You know, like if you say, "Oh, I ain't seeing nothing down in the Marply field," I ain't hunting that stand.
But see, I don't like hunting by the cameras. I mean, I like seeing the deer on there and what we've got and stuff like that. But like just setting up my strategy about what's on the camera, no. Because like Mark said, I mean, it's taking a picture right here.
You're getting a snippet of the big picture.
I mean, using them for information is great though. Yeah. You can see what you find their trails, locate the way they're traveling. Smart bucks ain't coming by that.
No.
I mean, you mainly get does. And I know we got way more does than we do bucks, but you're not getting all the pictures. The bucks are slow.
I mean, just like
they know. I think a buck knows.
After deer season, we was looking for deer to shed. That one big deer's on camera. We ain't seen him on camera all year long. Knowing well he's been there, but we hadn't seen him all year long.
He looked at the calendar. He knows.
Yeah, a month after season's over.
But we're utilizing them kind of the same way that Mississippi State does. I mean, that's how they do assessments of your property. That's how those biologists go down there and they figure out how many deer you need to kill, what you need to be doing, you know.
And that's something else.
That's our main focus with our cameras is doing that a lot of times.
When you met the biologist the first time, you showed him game trail pictures, and he's like, "Oh, heck yeah, y'all got way too many does on here just off cameras," and it was same time of day, so no, it wasn't the same deer in each food plot.
So how many cameras do you need, I guess, per acre or whatever? What would
I think that depends on your terrain.
Depend on what it is. Like we got several food plots, so we're monitoring our deer from those food plots. 75% of the year?
Yeah,
just trying to keep a good evaluation of them. But if you're going to be putting them on trails and different things, trying to pattern them and hunt by them and stuff like that, You need several.
I'd say 4 or 5 per 100 acres, something like that, maybe. So what is that? Maybe 1 per 20 acres or something. Yeah, maybe be a good guess.
Starting out.
And then you add.
Well,
we add every year.
I think you get into you got too many cameras too.
No, can't.
Then you so you don't think you could have too many?
Well, like you said, I mean, you can have 10 on 100 acres, and you're only seeing
you're probably
maybe a quarter of an acre.
Yeah, you're not covering all of it by no means.
So we move on from trail cameras to Jamie's next item. Give us y'all's top trail camera. You want to say the top 5 trail cameras that you would use?
I'm just going off what we have. To me, the
Tacticam takes the best pictures.
Yeah. That and Covert both been real good cameras.
I would say for your money, that Spy Point's hard to beat. It's cheap. Find them just about anywhere. Any sporting goods store has them. They have a free plan, so that'd be my number 5, I guess. They're not 100. I'm not real happy as the reliability on them. You know, they work, but they're not. Seems like the range isn't as good, but they're cheap, so they're budget. That's the budget camera. Then I would have to probably go to the Tacticam, and it takes great pics. The signal seems to be really good.
They last
Battery
a little
life's
longer.
good. Battery life's good. The camera lasts you multiple seasons.
They're going to wear out. They're going to break.
They're going. Yeah,
they're going to
it's
quit.
gonna happen. Number 3, I'd probably throw that Boltree in there. It's an old brand. It's been around a long time. They're reliable. You know, they have cellular ones. They have regular card ones. Number 2 for me would probably be Covert. They're more expensive. They work pretty good. I know they had the technology at first I thought was really good. Now, I've never used the Spartans or some of those more expensive ones, but I've been real happy with Coverts. And my number 1 right now is the one Mark found last year. And Wild Game Innovations, they've known to make some cheap stuff, but these cameras flat work. We're running on over a year, or going on a year with them, and haven't had zero trouble.
I mean, it was in the middle of a rice field in standing water for all winter. You know,
from November to the end of January in water.
I think when it comes to
not like in water, but yeah, I mean,
Right
it
at
was
the surface.
over,
Right at
it was
it,
over
yeah.
water, so it was damp and moisture all year.
my thing is, I think you got a happy medium. Like, I wouldn't spend much more. I wouldn't go buy a $500 camera.
Yeah.
I would not do it, because you put them out there. It's real easy to bump them with the tractor if you're not paying attention, or if somebody's riding around in Mark Plot at 2 o'clock in the morning, might run over with a Can-Am. But I mean, they get put through the ringer. I mean, they're out there in the weather. So I mean, I guess it's a fine line. If you really want a $1 camera, yeah, go for it. But I mean, is it really that much work? Like, are you really gaining that much from a $500 or $600 trail cam versus $120?
$130.
Yeah.
See, how I see it is, what are them cameras? What do they run a piece?
The ones I got's anywhere from $79 to $100.
All right, so
I can get 5 of those.
You're running 5 of them versus 1.
More eyes.
Right. I do want to try something next year with them. I seen a guy take a threaded, like a threaded eye, like a lag bolt with an eye on it, and he makes a little apparatus that goes. He screws it in the tree, and you can screw your camera on. It's got the quarter 20 thread like a regular camera. He's putting it up like 15 foot and angling it down on the food plot. That way you don't have any of the. He says it cuts down all the false triggers because you don't have the sunlight messing with you.
Yeah.
And you're looking down on the deer, and you can get better judgment on them. So I was like, might have to give that a shot.
Yeah, because just about all of them have that
the quarter 20 thread on the bottom.
Yeah, so you could put almost like a tripod mount on an eye bolt, like you're talking about.
They,
Then you make
he
a
said he
swivel.
climbs up the tree or gets up, stands on the roof side by side, screws it in the tree, and just angles it down to where you're still seeing 40 yards out.
That'll keep trespassers from
thinking
spotting
say that.
cameras.
Yeah.
That's the other thing to keep people from snatching them too.
But just a thought, might be
Might
something we
get
can try
pictures of
next
somebody
year.
with sticks or rocks trying to knock them out.
I would not take an expensive cam and put it anywhere on like a club or a
No.
you know,
No.
where there's a lot
Where
of
it can just-
people, because you don't never know who you're hunting with sometimes in those things, or government land.
Oh, we had a friend had one,
Yeah.
Yeah.
had some stole last year off his place.
Put it right by the.
Y'all located that, got those cameras back though, didn't they?
I
They located.
did not get them back.
Oh, yeah.
Located who
I
had them, where they
located
was
who
at.
had them, and he was a police officer, and he said he threw them away,
Oh, well,
but he took them off somebody else's property too.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Anyways,
Anyway, we ain't talking. We ain't
Yeah.
getting to that. So, Jamie, what's the next
Man,
new product that you like, or what products you need?
all this stuff now is going cordless. And we have actually used and abused some cordless tools down on a place.
Man, we have. We put them through some ringers.
I'll
We
take
did.
a pole saw and I can clear some forest.
For somebody that's not working it every day, like I'm not saying you got a land clearing crew or you're doing landscaping work and you're going to be putting 80 hours a week on these or whatever.
no.
Probably wouldn't do that. But for what we do with them, those cordless.
Well, the thing about it is, don't have to worry about having gas. If somebody remembers to put the batteries on charge, you're pretty much good to go. And
They're small and compact.
that, the Hueyman, for instance, like I say, you can put it pretty much over your shoulder and tote it in your stand every time you went if you wanted. It's not heavy, it's not bulky, and you put it together and get there. It don't make zero noise hardly.
Much quieter in the woods running
Yeah.
those.
And one thing I like about them is like that. Well, I don't have a. Mark's got a Milwaukee, and you do too, don't you?
The Milwaukee chainsaws back to the bone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that Hueyman, I've used it several times on the same battery, and it stays up for a
Stays.
while.
Yeah.
As long as you want to cut, huh?
As long as you want to.
Oh, you'll get more limbs on the ground you want to drag
a
off.
couple of times
Yeah.
before it ever runs out of battery.
Yeah.
And that's what I think. If I got the price right, they're around $350, something like that for the Huey.
And they
one.
got a ton of different ones out there. I mean, but little battery powered saws. Heck, I even use the weed eaters. To weed it around
The blower.
the blower.
You use the blower
Yeah.
for the stand video. I mean, that blower's bad to bone.
It's all convenient because you can throw it back side by side. Like I'll go out there. Heck, I used mine last year when we planted all those trees. I weed eated around where we planted every one of
Yeah.
them, or weed eat around your game cameras.
Heck, Daddy keeps that Milwaukee one in my Ranger when he goes hunting, just because where he hunted at got a tornado damage from a couple years ago, and he shot a deer and couldn't get to it because he had to cut a path.
Yeah. The one bit of advice I will give you on those though is buy a quality one.
Yeah,
Because I did buy Melissa like a cheaper leaf blower because she tears up everything. But I bought her a cheaper leaf blower for the house, and
Runs
battery
15
don't
minutes.
yeah, it runs 15 minutes, and man, it don't do crap.
So I will say Milwaukee's got the battery technology.
Figure
They've
it
got
out.
the lithium high outputs, and I've heard that they're making the battery technology and just letting other companies buy it from them. For Steel's got a new battery power that they've came out with. Is it Ryobi? I think the other
Ryobi.
brand.
got one.
They've got one. I think all those are running off Milwaukee technology. But as far as the stay up power and the battery, those are bad to the bone. Now, I don't know if they're the Hueyman's right there.
Oh, it's been great.
Yeah,
I prefer that Hueyman, over some of the other ones just because of the weight of it. Because there's some of those pole saws I've used. Man, they're heavy.
yeah.
They're heavy duty, and it'll wear you out. You don't think you'll wear out. You
Do
keep
they have a
you keep
chainsaw?
your hands up over your head holding that saw.
Does the Hueyman have a chainsaw
I
yet?
don't think so yet.
They've just got the pole saw.
Just the pole saw.
But
You can't.
you can make the Hueyman
Yeah,
tough
heavy.
to hold on to. That's one thing I do like.
Stretch it out 30 feet.
Well,
Yeah,
you
we
can-
put two of them together to make one.
You can add sections to it, which you can any of them.
Yeah.
But we just happen to have 5 sections, and
I don't recommend doing that very much,
but if you got some tree limbs you need to get out the top of the tree, you can do it. with
It'll
Hueyman.
work. Yeah. You'd be surprised what you can cut through with one. of those.
Heck yeah.
yeah.
But no, definitely there's plenty to check out there, and I don't really know what else battery wise have we used that's just
I mean, every time we put a stand up, we're running a skill saw and drill or cordless impact
I
driver.
was
every
gonna say,
time.
if you do a lot of stand work and work around your area and property and stuff like that, man, it is so easy just to buy a Milwaukee DeWalt or some kind of little pack of drills and saws and stuff. They are so helpful when you're using those around the farm.
I bought the Milwaukee because I got the lights were out
yeah.
trying to blood trail a deer at night. You got the hand tools for doing stands, whatever else you're doing, and you got the saws all running off the same battery.
They got vacuums, they got air compressors, they got
Leaf blower, what do you,
You
name
name
it?
it.
They got. I think they probably have more choices than any others as far as
I would say.
multi tools on the same battery platform. And I think it's the M18s, isn't it?
yeah.
I got a cheaper set that I keep in my truck all the time. It stays under my back seat. Keep the batteries charged up. It's got an impact, a drill, a saw, and like a flashlight or something in it. But they're fairly. Some of them are really expensive, but some of them are pretty reasonable. And
They could figure out a buddy heater won't run on one of those and it lasts all day.
We never did figure out what that was.
I don't
We
know
seen
what
this
that
weekend.
guy this weekend he had.
It was 2 Milwaukee.
Evidently, he's a Milwaukee fan because he had. I don't know how much Milwaukee stuff was. Everything he had was Milwaukee.
It almost looked like a Milwaukee fire pit. Is
It was
what it
two-
looked like.
it-
That's what it looked
it was
like.
two of
It's
them
set
for-
on the ground.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah,
and
look,
see.
see if you can figure out. And it was it was probably 20 by 20 square red Milwaukee box and had this big white top on it. I don't know if it was some kind of I was like, maybe that's like a Bluetooth speaker with a light or something
Yeah.
like it was big, but
They
he
did make the pop up light thing that's got all the different places to
No,
charge
this
batteries and
I don't know how to explain what this thing looks
radio
like.
and all kinds of stuff.
But while Jamie's looking that up, I want to kick this next one off because I kind of know the answer. We talk about new calibers. He's got it checked on the list right here. Your favorite caliber of 2022-23 season.
Oh, the 350 Legend? That's a no brainer. First time I used it, I don't know how new it is, but it's that was a deer killing machine on our place this year, from kids to adults. It's low recoil, easy to shoot, AR platform, so it's easy to maneuver in a blind or stand.
That's my favorite.
I think that's
thing.
one of the best advantages because
Yeah.
you can buy a good, reliable gun, and you're not buying the whole gun. You're just buying the upper, and you're a couple $100 versus $1,200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely surprised me. I mean, this year was the first year I've killed a deer with one, and it did its job. Now, is it a long range rifle? No.
Yeah.
But
Everywhere we hunt,
everywhere we hunt, and probably 90% of the people that hunt in Mississippi are not. You're not shooting
Shooting
5,
300.
6, 7.
Well, it's no different than you hunt with a shotgun. You didn't hunt plantation field where you shoot 300 yards. You was hunting where that gun was in that range.
It's effective.
very.
That bullet travels just slow enough to hurt whatever it hits. I'm talking about to the ground.
So
Yeah.
we shot me and you got down there, and that video hopefully will be coming out shortly. But we shot the 450 Bushmaster.
Yeah, what'd y'all think about that?
It kicks a little harder.
It's a little stouter.
It's
more
not
stouter.
it's not
But
in
it's
the low
not-
recoil
it's
category.
not like
It ain't bad.
bad. A kid could still shoot it. Now I still think I don't know if I would say, I got to have the 450 over the 350.
No.
I'd probably still carry the 350.
I like the disadvantage to the 450, in my opinion, is ammunition's a lot more expensive.
A lot.
A lot. It's double the price. At least in our area, it is.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier gun, but
Yeah, because those grain bullets run
250
220 to 300.
yeah,
It's
it's a
lead.
lead.
Yeah.
And what does that 350 run? It runs from
You can get subsonic like 225 or 250s, but most of them are 150 to 180.
Yeah.
Any like a 30 caliber bullet, basically. I liked it. It was accurate. It shot good. It was smooth.
I'm
Oh.
telling you, for the money, that Bear Creek Arsenal,
I don't have a
it's-
problem with it.
I like it. We caught a lot of flack over
And we're still gonna catch
talking
flack on it.
about, man, I don't care. I like those
We
rifles.
we run a couple of boxes a year through them. It's not like we're going out there to the range shooting 1,000 rounds this weekend. We're pretty much we hunt with them, and that's it.
Yeah.
We're not hopefully not going to war anytime soon with them or nothing like that. Our life depends on it. So
I don't know. I'd like them. I think they're perfect for starting a kid out, getting them comfortable. They don't have to worry about recoil.
yeah,
I mean, that's a big advantage. I mean, 350 bullets, you can find them anywhere. We've seen them at Walmart,
now I
any
think
sporting goods store.
I think a lot of that too is like when we got up there around Michigan, you didn't see 350. Everywhere
Nobody
you
was
seen
shooting
was 450.
Really,
So I think it's a lot of that's kind of regional in your
Yeah.
area, but
maybe so.
and that happens. I mean, it happens with other calibers rifles too.
that was way bigger than that.
Yeah, I know. But I think it's a sight like what Milwaukee had, but it was a whole lot bigger than that.
Yeah,
That's
I've
similar.
seen that one. They do make one that pops up like that too. But
I don't know that the other new caliber I heard. I hadn't done any research or anything on it. Was what's the Remington one that's supposed to be the competitor to the 350? It's like a 360.
Yeah, something like that, something crazy.
I hadn't seen yet.
It looks just like a 350 Legend.
Does
I
it
couldn't
drop
tell.
in an AR platform the same way, or is it, does it?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's going to be a lot of people don't like, you shouldn't have to hunt with AR, but I mean, it can adapt very easily to
First
any,
off, people need to understand what AR stands for. It's not assault rifle.
Assault rifle.
Yeah, I
350.
think that.
them does beg to differ. It assaulted them.
Assaulted deal.
But
What
no,
does it stand for? Armor light rifle.
Armor light rifle
Yeah.
originally. And
But
then,
it's the same as like those Thompson center guns that came out. I mean, you still got that same option as buying those.
Yeah.
Changing
You
barrels
change
out.
barrels.
They were
out.
just single barrels.
You buy
Yeah.
those were the same way, and those were really popular back 20 years ago or something like that. They kind of phased out.
Yeah.
But the AR, it's been around for a long time, and you can do just about anything you want to with that gun.
I like it because I ain't worried about it getting beat up. Like, we want to throw it in a side by side when we go check whatever and see if we see a coyote or whatever. Who cares? Like,
It's in the tractor with you.
Yeah.
I mean, you can stick it out the window and shoot.
It's a
coyote.
multi-purpose gun. I mean, you're not
Yeah.
going to take your
I'm not gonna-
$2,000, $3,000
hunting rifle.
hunting
yeah.
rifle,
Oh, in
beating
a
it around in a
tractor.
freaking tractor,
Mm.
trying to shoot a coyote when you knock him out when you bush hogging. Which I don't even know if that's legal. Probably shouldn't have said that.
it's a coyote.
It's coyote. They need to go.
Now, this next category, Jamie, you got on here.
You got me on this one. Man.
So
You ain't going to see none of, well, I would.
Mark, you would come more to being an e-bike man than I would.
the only reason why I brought this up is buddy of mine, Brad, like I say, diehard turkey hunter. He got one, and I remember what name brand it was. But he said it's not. It takes a little bit. It ain't just like getting on a bicycle and riding. He said it takes a little bit to.
Hell, I ain't rode a bicycle in 30 years.
Yes.
I'd get
That's
on it,
what-
done knock my deer rifle off and scuff myself
So
up.
I ran into a buddy, big turkey hunter too, Michael Williams. Y'all probably know him, but he told me it's like the e-bike has changed the way he said they can cover so much ground quiet. If you can get used to riding one, it will get you to places, and especially when you're covering a lot of ground turkey hunting that you would never, it would take you'd be wore out by the time.
Yeah.
Well, they have what they call all-wheel drive that's run
Yeah.
2 batteries. Got
They
front
have
wheel
a trike model. That'd be my thing.
training wheel model.
I need the training wheel someone.
So when me and Mark was in
Heavy duty.
Michigan at trade show, what that guy have? Probably 100 different bikes at
Yeah.
least.
He had 300,000 inventory there.
I mean, you can get everything from a trailer to pull behind it to a cargo rack on the front, to cargo rack on the back. I mean,
They say it's a game changer for turkey hunting.
what is that?
They make side carts.
Probably put
I
Malcolm in a
don't see-
sidecar.
yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna put Malcolm in the
I don't
side
know,
cart.
but see, like that's fine to me if you're on flat land. But if you're crossing ditches and creeks
It'll
and
do it, I'm
stuff
telling
like
you.
we have, I imagine it
I'm not
will.
worried about it doing it.
Yeah, I'm not worried about
me
the bike doing it. I'm
doing
gonna
it
not
with
kill
being able to
myself.
maneuver it through that.
They're-
What is a club up in Tennessee? Something plantation. What's it called?
I have no idea.
Got me on that one.
No, it's anyway. It's a and you can't ride. You can't use any motorized vehicles to go in out of the woods,
Oh.
but the electric bike you can.
Yeah.
That's when we need to do a motorized or e-bike relay. You got to ride down to the bottom mud hole, shoot a 50-yard target, ride up to the top.
Running gutted on
Yeah.
e-bikes.
But that, I mean, they're not.
I'll have to referee that.
Yeah, you can be the flagger,
Yeah.
and they're just like anything else. You can spend upwards of $7,000 on
Oh,
one
yeah,
bike.
they're
There's-
$1.
you know,
They're
depending on how
not
much you'll
cheap.
get you.
If somebody wants to send us one, I'll hunt off it
Would
and let
you
you know.
try e-bike?
I'll remote back to you, let you know.
They need to send me an HD model.
Need the E250.
Yeah. I need to put a big 3-wheeler, woolly bugger tires on it.
That would be my worry about those things. Be just stability and stuff like that. But they are.
Well, Daddy's buddy Crockett, he hunts up in Illinois. He said, "Shoot, man, you get on that thing and blow down the trail, getting and not make other than
No.
what you run over, don't make no noise."
See,
It's like a golf cart's quiet enough for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It does have a little rattle. You might need to tighten up the top.
Yeah,
Tighten the roof
I got to
up.
work on it next
But
week.
you can still slip up on some stuff.
What
on
scares me about those e-bikes, I've been a kid riding old Huffy down the road,
That's
and you
what
hit
I was gonna
a
say.
you hit a stick wrong on a sidewalk, you
Man.
eat
kicking
it.
over.
Have you ever tried to tote fishing poles and a tackle box on a bike?
Oh,
It
when
ain't
we
that
were
That sucks.
in high
Yeah,
school,
but,
we went duck hunting down at Askew. Of course, you had to walk
Yeah.
you had to walk in. You couldn't ride a foiler in. That's what we done. We went duck hunting on our pedal bikes with decoys, waders
Shotguns,
on,
everything.
shotgun. Dude, that was the worst.
Oh, I'm getting Brad. I'm gonna get Brad. Bring his down to camp. And
Uh,
we probably don't need to do a 2:00 in the morning test
Yeah.
ride. We
That's,
probably need to
that's
do it
y'all's problem.
daytime hours.
There's no telling how many injuries have happened on e-bikes.
How many people are going to wipe out when they
Yeah.
get to mud hole?
Yeah, what's
Because all them loose
what's the
rocks-
insurance life looking
somebody
like
just
down there?
You're going straight. I've done it before on my bicycle, straight over the handlebars. That front tire lock up and just flip you right over.
Damn.
The e-bike deck wobble, death
Yeah,
wobble.
yeah.
Michael's be on his e-bike with his old cards, clothespin to the back.
Oh, yeah,
There
we
was
do
some
some
pegs put on it.
we
Put
do
my feet up
e-bikes.
on
We
it.
had to up our insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Might call
policy.
Ben.
policy.
we can't talk much on this. We don't know much.
So next, Jamie, you got on here thermals.
Yep.
I really like the thermals. Now we first got to seeing them with our buddy John Deere man.
I mean, predator hunting.
Predator hunting. Yeah, you use them for coyotes. That's a big thing now. I mean, the ones we were used were more handheld.
Come a long way.
Yeah, they were
man.
it wasn't monocle. Was it a monocle that he had?
He had a binocular.
Binocular with the thermal on it, and then it would show it on an iPad. You could see it, and he had a thermal scope on a rifle. Now that's pretty slick setup. But those jokers, you ain't talking about cheap. They're expensive.
I mean, if I owned a big farm that was ate up with hogs, I mean, that's a no-brainer. You got to have thermal.
Oh yeah, that's fun. I like watching the videos on them. But
Oh yeah,
that's
what's the guy, the hog man?
something that I want to get us set up on one of our AR platforms with the thermal scope, so we can do some coyote hunting at night.
I'm
don't have hogs
excited
here.
about it. I hadn't got to. I looked through yours once. That's the only one I ever looked through, which there wasn't nothing around that day. But
Yeah,
I'm excited about looking through that and seeing what you can see out there.
Going Thursday night.
Thursday. Oh, you are?
Yeah. We're going to take Mr. J. Craig from Outlaw Smokers. He's coming down to help us this weekend. We're going to take him out there with John and them Thursday night. He thought deer hunting was illegal. He's really going to think this is sketchy.
But that takes us to
Yeah, this is my topic here.
go for it, Jamie. I'm gonna let you handle that.
Thermal drone. I am like
Tell
on
us about
fire to buy one.
Have you done all your homework? Like what's going to cost?
I've done a lot. Yes. Yep. I've done a bunch of research on it.
You just got to put some zeros behind that, too.
Yeah.
And you can get it.
So pretty much, Deer Drone Recoveries who got me fired up on this. He's got on YouTube and he is killing it in this market right now. I've never thought about it being a useful tool for that, but what he does with it is pretty dang amazing. You shoot a deer, you're not sure about it, bad shot, lost blood trail, and he's pretty much, I'd say, 9 out of 10 times he can find your
He's
deer.
pretty good odds.
He is good. So if you check out his YouTube, you can figure out what it's all about. But yes, you're gonna spend probably $18,000 just on drone, and that's with extra batteries. So time you buy all the batteries, do everything, you're around that price point.
So you're going to be $20,000 in to be set up to find a deer with the drone.
Yeah, you can probably do it a little bit less. Now he's got a program you can sign up, like a member of his team, and does referral back to you. And
Does
it's
he
like
train you?
Yes.
Like, do you have to go to training to learn how to fly the drone?
Yeah, he'll do pretty much give you all the instructions you need. And I don't know if you can actually go to his place or if it's all just over the phone or how it works out exactly on that.
You have
part.
to get like a professional drone license.
Yes, you do. That's what scares me. That's a pretty hard test.
Probably insurance and all that, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we've got some of the little hobby drones.
Yeah.
And they're bad to the bone. Like we've flown them down doing some of our Buck Junkie videos.
Film deer with it.
Yeah, film deer with them. I mean, they're cool, but they're just like
So this has got thermal.
We can afford that.
Yeah.
They're $400.
Yeah, this is thermal with I believe it's a 200 power camera. I mean, you can pretty much zoom down and see your air hanging out the deer if you needed to.
Yeah, I like that.
And
I have seen those guys doing the what do they call it? Survey.
Yes. He's doing a herd analysis of your property. He can go in or whoever got this drone rather can go in and early in the morning, any cloudy day, and he can pretty much count the does and bucks on your property to a certain extent. But it's pretty accurate.
Is he using the thermal to find those and then you switch to like regular video too?
Switch to the 4K and then look at them and see what it is.
Man.
I was going to ask how that would work, like right now, like with everything greening back up.
Don't matter.
Yeah, but you're going to be able to see it with the regular camera. You'll be able to see an animal.
It's still thermal, yes. As far as regular camera, I guess it kind of depends on how thick it is.
So it kind of depends on the canopy of the
Yeah.
forest and stuff.
Now regular thermal, it don't really matter. It'll show it up.
He can get a count, but he can't tell you what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, the first time we went with John and them out there and done that, and we got out in the middle of that bean field at night. I don't know what time it was, but you turn that binocular on, you don't realize how many critters are out there with you.
Oh, it was.
I mean, the field mice were just
everywhere.
It looked like ants. It's something. If you've never done it, definitely try to get your hands on one just to check it out.
I wonder if he does like turkey surveys.
How
many turkeys you have?
So one thing I was reading
You
about.
see turkeys on the roost with
See,
it?
I don't know if will the thermal show as much.
Yeah,
with their
thermal's
feathers?
not the feathers are the key factor to that.
Mark saw something with the thermal feathers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did.
So I don't know. I'm definitely interested in it, and I've been talking back and forth with them up there, and I don't know if it's. So
I think it's worth it, Jamie. Spend that $20,000.
do it.
Hey, I need a raise. What kind of bonus work we got coming up?
I got a bunch of trees need moved.
Also,
and side work.
I wouldn't mind if people responding back to this. Would you pay? So I want to say his rate's $450 to come out, another $100 if you find it. So you're $500 to $550 to find a deer. Would you pay it?
If I thought I shot a trophy deer, if my son did, I could see that.
I agree.
You're going to spend so say you call a guy with a dog. You're going to give him gas money, at least $100. That's
At least.
that's
Most
cheap now. You're going to spend. I'd say you probably spend $150 at least.
Most of the stuff I've seen around here on just stuff I've seen on Facebook, anywhere from $150 to $400 for somebody to bring a dog out.
Yeah.
And then if the deer is wounded, what have you done? I mean, I'm not knocking a dog, by no means.
But a dog's gonna push it.
A dog can push a deer.
Yeah. So with that drone, he can tell if that deer is wounded, if it's alive, it's going to make it.
That deer will never know he's on that drone. And he
Doesn't jump him up out of a bed.
Doesn't jump him up. It can drop a pinpoint location where that deer is down at.
And you can go
send it to your phone.
It's even got a spotlight. You can hover above it and turn that light on and go
until
to the
you
light.
get to it.
And it's all legal.
Yep.
there's some gray area for me though. Like, at what point is so
harassment of life? What do they
no,
call
it's
it?
not even
Harassment
that.
of
It's
life?
like, all right,
Life
you have a non-fatal shot on that animal.
You leave it alone.
How do you know it's fatal or non-fatal?
You're not going to.
Like, at what point do you say, all right, I'll go out there and finish that deer? I'll go out there next morning, I'll shoot and kill that deer. All right, did you shoot and kill the deer with the second shot? Or did you use the drone to find a deer that was not going to die and then you kill it?
So, more than likely.
To me, that's the great
Good question.
If you shoot a deer in the afternoon, it's going to be 2 or 3 hours for him or somebody could get there, most likely. So, you're already 3 or 4 hours in. If that deer is not dead by then,
Probably good chance it might survive.
yeah, good chance it is going to make it. And I've seen him where he zoomed in enough, you could see, well, man, I hit it low in the front leg or high in the back, something that's not really most likely
you can see where it's been hit a lot of times.
Yeah.
correct. Yes.
Wow.
And that's a good thing too. Like if you called him and he was off, it gives you time to sit there and
Not push it.
not push
Yeah.
it, show up 4, 5, 6 hours later, and then you can assess it from
And
there.
that drone, from what I'm understanding, infrared, depending on even several, like 8, 10, 12 hours after the shot, even if the deer is dead, when the animal dies, when it starts breaking down, it's putting off heat, so it's still
Hotter than
reading,
the ground
still
around.
able to read thermal.
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting. I like the fact of it. I think it's still very new, and I think there's still a lot of unknown questions and stuff that's going to have to adapt and figure out as time goes on. But you're not going to push that deer.
Technology's a bad thing. I like it. I think it helps. And if there was something like that in our area, I think
I'd pay
most
for it.
people would say they would.
Yeah.
Well, if you've never experienced that, I have. Make a bad
that's
shot on a deer and didn't find it,
That's a miserable feeling for days. It ain't like you
yeah,
go to bed and
sick.
forget about it.
and then you find him a week, 2, 3 weeks later, or something like that, or
somebody
later
else
on down,
does.
somebody else finds it. It jumped the fence, went on somebody else's property, find a dead deer. It's
We found one this year on ours from
Yeah.
somebody else.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, this is not like limited to deer hunting. It can go anything for cattle, livestock, even somebody that's lost. Search and rescue. You can go to.
He found that guy's dog that got like swept
Yeah.
down the river or something like that.
Yeah,
lost.
a guy had his tracking dog, and the dog wouldn't bark. It got loose off. The guy had it on lead, best I remember, and the lead got out of the guy's hand. Anyway, he actually downloaded a siren sound on the drone because he said the dog would howl at the siren. So he
Yeah.
flew it around, no response. Turned the thermal on, found the dog. It was by a creek. Its lead had got tangled up in the tree, and the dog was there. And found the guy's dog. He's like, I don't care what it costs. That's my dog. I want it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing.
There's definitely a lot of options out there
Heck,
for
it's
it.
been times where I've been lost. I hope somebody had thermal to find me sometimes.
I'm not spending $500 to find you more.
I'll find my way out. We didn't get to talk about camp recipes last week.
No, I guess we'll talk about recipes. We had some questions to talk about too, but we done run out of time today, gentlemen. We got one. Let's answer this one right here. Jamie put on here. Why would you use a blind to turkey hunt?
It really wasn't a question. It was more of a
Did somebody?
not
Smart-ass
so,
comment.
not so positive
Oh, really?
comment Mikey got, but
Oh, really? What did somebody say? You shouldn't use a blind?
Yeah,
Are they against
you're not-
blind hunting?
you're not turkey hunting by sitting in the blind, pretty much how I took it.
Well, we put our blinds up. One of the main reasons is we have kids. Malcolm's
And-
young son.
Back to the fact, we know our property, know that
Yeah.
the turkey's going to come out in that food plot or come out in this area, and that
Anything we can make it easier for a kid and get a kid involved, we're 100% for.
And we're still not just sitting out there aimlessly waiting on a turkey to come out. We're going
No,
to try
we
to
don't even-
locate the turkey.
We've sat in there one. You sat in
Yeah.
one time.
And we heard turkeys over there.
and think about
I
it.
mean-
If you locate a turkey, we know we got this blind on this field. Well, why not go you sit in it and take advantage of that blind, knowing that turkey's on a roost or getting out off roost or
Yeah.
feeding or nesting in this area close.
And it's completely over him if he comes, if you call and from the blind.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that, that's one of the biggest things that we talked about in the past, about hunting with kids and things like that. People that can't be still like Malcolm. Kids are not going to sit still. So, taking them turkey hunting and things like that, trying to keep them occupied, like Jamie said, trying to keep them interested because you don't want them to play a video game or they'll be messing around on their phone. That's just what kids do these days, and if the hunt's just so boring, they're going to hate it. They'll never come back.
That's right.
that's right. You got to make it fun for them.
So,
And last time I checked, turkeys could see pretty dang good.
and
So
'cause
you
like
could
said,
seal yourself.
concealing that kid or concealing yourself where you can move around a little bit to be able to, harvest a turkey.
And
Even if you don't harvest it, you're
That's right.
still getting them close enough where they're interested in it and want to go back.
And the great thing about those blinds is you can break them down and move them pretty daggum quick.
Yeah.
So if you know that turkey's somewhere else and you can slip in on him and get one of those set up pretty fast, you got a better chance. You're improving your odds.
And again, majority of the time, you're not getting up at crack of dawn before daylight and running, sitting that blind all day like you do deer
Oh,
hunting.
No. You're going to ease out there and call and see if a turkey's back over there answering. And if you can get one to answer, great. Go get in the blind.
I can tell you something else that's happened to me before. I wished I had a blind. I'll be out there turkey hunting. It's springtime, so showers pop up all the time. If I had one of those close enough where I could run and jump and get in it, I've already got the turkey gobbling, but, he gets quiet because it starts raining or whatever.
He might still ease on out there and eat a little bit.
I'm going to get in there and stay dry.
Yep. I like that.
Anything to make the hunt easier, why not?
That's right.
Otherwise, just start hunting with a slingshot. Like, go back if you want to hunt that way.
It's just
Now, if you're like my dad was hunting government land, Holly Springs and all that, a blind ain't gonna do you a whole lot of good down there a lot of times. You got to get on turkey for the guy beside you gets on turkey.
I tell you what I have seen for that I thought was pretty cool, though. I don't know what company it is that make them. There's probably several, but they've got this blind you set out about 3 foot in front of you, and it looks like a little triangle.
I've seen that.
And you can, it's like, because it's going to break you up to where you can still set up against the tree, and you don't put that thing right up on you. You put it out. That way you can shoot on both sides of it, and it breaks you up enough in front.
They used to make a little, little roll up thing that
I got
had
those with the little
tent
legs.
poles.
Yeah.
You just stuck them in the ground and stretched it, and
It's
kinda
real,
the same thing.
real mobile. Yeah, that's what my dad used to have when I
Yeah,
was a
I got
kid.
one of those somewhere, but those never fails. Those sticks on those break or something happens to it.
Yep. But that's
Concealment.
That's
what it's
big
about.
blinds up.
Yep. Well, Mark, that's about it for today. Take us
That's
on out
it.
of here, man.
We appreciate y'all listening. Y'all make sure to check us out on all the platforms. Check out buckjunkies.com. Got these wonderful hoodies. They're good and warm. If y'all got any questions, let us know. We'll do what we can to help you out. And that's all I got.
That's it. Well, hey, guys. Well, this is for all of us. We will see y'all next week. We'll talk more hunting. We gone.